Hello and welcome back to JP Gaming and Kerbal Space Program, where we're playing my Super Duper Trooper Extreme mode, where I'm only getting 10% science gain. I'm gonna try and unlock the whole tech tree, and of course I'm also not allowed to use the science lab, and I'm also not allowed to let my Kerbals leave the Kerbin system, so they're only allowed to go to the moon and Minimus. And in today's little episode, we are gonna go to Dres, which is, well, a place that nobody goes to, including me. And I did learn a bunch of things going to Dres, and you're gonna see about that in a little bit, because it didn't go as I had planned. The original plan was to have this lower stage be the transfer stage for me to get to Dres, and then the upper stage was gonna be an actual lander. So I was gonna land this on Dres and leave it there as a little relay just sitting out there in space, pretty much nowhere, because of course we all know that Dres doesn't exist in that whole that whole meme. And yeah, since I haven't really I haven't really gone to Dres in quite a while. I wasn't really sure what equipment I should bring and how it was gonna work, but I thought this antenna, the antenna that I put on the side that folds out, I can't remember the name of it right now. That antenna, I know that has worked very well for me in the past, and I've gotten really good connection going very far out, so I thought it's fine, it's gonna have no problem going out to Dres. But yeah, we're gonna see that in a little bit, that it didn't go too well. But this lower stage at least went very well. We got up and into orbit quite easily. Those side boosters are of course very helpful getting there. And the bottom stage there has the swivel engine and not the Reliant. Is that the name of it? Reliant? Yeah, I just know the swivel because I always use the swivel, because it has, of course, a swivel, or it can turn, basically. Anyways, we're getting close to orbit here now. I'm putting this in pretty low orbit of about 80 kilometers, because of course we want to use all the momentum that we can to get ourselves to nowhere, or also known as Dres. And now we're gonna be doing the transfer burn straight away, because I thought I was in a pretty good place to go to Dres. And well, this is the first lesson that I learned, that I was actually not in that good of a place to go to Dres. So we actually had to burn quite a lot of fuel to get there. I think the amount we ended up with was something around a bit more than 2,000 meters per second of delta V, and we could have done it with something like 1,600. So this was really not optimized in any way, shape, or form. But I also feel like that is kind of in line with my playstyle of KSP. I'm not the type of dude that optimizes things into the smallest little increments, and I don't think about things like weights that much. I more just think about the actual thrust to weight ratio, and the amount of thrust and delta V that I have on the craft overall. And yeah, I did pack in a bit more than I thought I would need, which I always do. I always like to pack in something like something ludicrous, like 1,000 meters per second more than I think I'll need for a mission, because then you have that extra fuel for those mistakes that you might do along the way. And I think the game is just way more fun playing it that way. I mean, it's not gonna be very realistic or anything like that, but it works. It works for me. And now, of course, Dres is also on a little bit of a different inclination than Kerbin is. So we did have to fiddle around with the inclination a little bit, going a little bit normal, anti-normal, so we could hit it a little bit better. But it turned out quite fine, actually, in the end. It wasn't that hard getting there. It was just a matter of spending a bit of time on it, twitching back and forth, noodling a bit, and yeah, we got it done pretty easily. And did a little bit of a mid-course correction here of about 80 meters per second. So nothing that big. And I think now we got our our encounter, and we actually went on a collision encounter, which of course means that we would have collided if we didn't do anything until we got there. And yes, here came my first problem, that I realized, oh damn, we don't have any connection out here. I don't have a connection to the KSC, so I cannot steer this thing at all right now. And at this point, I had two options. Either I could have put it in orbit and left it there until we might get a connection, or I could actually just keep on going, because we're not going to alter our orbit that much, and we're actually going to come back on an orbit that's going to intersect Kerbin. So I thought, why not? Let's just let it rip. Let it go, and we'll get it back to Kerbin instead. Since at Kerbin, of course, I can just make some kind of craft with some Kerbals on it that can go up into orbit and pick up all the science, and then we'll get more science from this. I think at least we'll get more science from this than if we were to have landed and done those 3 experiments that we have on this craft on the surface as well. And here I was fiddling around quite a lot with just trying to get an intersect with Kerbin from here, because I thought it would have been the cheapest. It probably would have been, but I couldn't really get it to work. The intersect node just disappeared all the time when I was getting closer. I don't know why. But anyways, I got it to work at the end, and now I actually did get a connection to Kerbin when it was closer to Dres, or to our orbit, because now we're actually further away than Dres was in the beginning. So at this point I realized I could have just left it in orbit for like, I don't know, couple of days, weeks, nothing more than that, and then we could have gotten, yeah, the mission done like I should have done it. But like I said, I think we got more science out of actually getting this back. I don't know exactly how much science I would have gotten from those experiments landed on Dres, and I'm not that interested in checking that out right now. Anyways, I did set this intersect up, the first one we're gonna do here. I did set that up so we were gonna intersect Kerbin on the inside of Kerbin, if you will, the side that is facing the sun, which of course makes it so we get into a retrograde orbit, or retrograde intersect retrograde flyby. Yeah, that must be correct. I don't know. Anyways, I did do that because my original idea was to just go around Kerbin this time and then go around and meet it up a second time, so we could slow down a bit just using the gravitational forces and gravity assist, as it's called. But then I realized, since I didn't do the landing and all of that, I actually had a lot of fuel left in this thing, and that would mean that this second stage would leave a bit of space debris, which of course I don't like, but it's gonna leave space debris out into a solar orbit. So it's not really gonna be that much in the way, and it's just the one part. I haven't left any other space debris, I don't think, at least. So I think it was gonna be fine. So yeah, I just did a couple of flybys here. We retracted those antennas. I went into the atmosphere a little bit to help me slow down a little bit extra. I didn't actually have to do that. I just got that orbit, so I thought, why not? I'm gonna slow down the time warp anyways when I go around here to my periapsis and why not just have that slow down because I'm getting into the atmosphere? Why not, right? But now, of course, we also needed to build something to go up and pick up this science. I checked if I had anything that I could just use straight away, and I probably could have used something like a moon lander or something, but felt a little bit overkill, so I just thought, why not? I'll just build something new. And I put on some solar panels, of course, parachute, and the science experimental storage units, I believe it is called. And then some boosters on the sides here, because of course you can always fit more boosters. And I did realize we are going into a retrograde orbit, so we might need more fuel. Actually, we might need a bit more delta V. So I did what everybody would have done. I just added another booster, because that is the Kerbin way. So I set the targets, and I thought I was going to be smart about this, going after it when we are kind of positioned right above the periapsis of the probe that we're going to. That didn't really work out because, well, my orbit got skewed, and of course it gets skewed the other way because we're going into a retrograde orbit. And getting into a retrograde orbit, it's just something that not a lot of people do that often, including me. So it is, of course, as interesting each time that you do it, because you have to think about a lot of other things that you don't normally have to think about. So our orbit got a little bit askewed here, and it actually took me some time to get to that probe. I tried fixing up my orbit a little bit here so it matched up a little bit better, and then I just thought, okay, should I do some burns here, because now we actually ended up ahead of it. Should I just do some burns to make my orbit a bit bigger, or should I just fix the inclination and then just time warp? And I decided to just fix the inclination a little bit quick here, so it's at 0.0, I think. And then do a whole lot of just time warping so we can get there a little bit quicker. And of course, then I didn't have to do a bunch of burns back and forth. But now here we are. Now we can do our correction burn to get a close intersect on our next orbit. We got that down to, I think it was 400 meters. Yeah. So we're going to get about 400 meters away from it. And now, yeah, now we're just getting closer. And what I'm doing here is I'm pointing retrograde towards the target, and then I'm kind of, it's hard to explain, but as you could see me doing there, probably, I'm kind of moving away from where the retrograde marker is and the anti-target marker is, and trying to get those to line up, because of course if they line up, the prograde marker and the target marker line up. So of course that's good. And then of course I had to do something really bad, which was I changed back to the other craft and just started blowing retrograde because I thought I had more fuel, but I just ran out of fuel and got this stranded. And well, this was my reaction to that. Oh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I didn't check the amount of fuel I had left. I didn't even check like where I was. I just went for it. Okay, I guess this shows that I am not that good at this game, even after playing it for a very long time. There is still stuff left to be learned. I guess we need to do a mission now, taking this down at some point, or maybe I'll just leave it up here as a relay for now, as long as it's not in the way. But oh my god, how could I do that? Ah! And well, after that freak out, I guess now the name of that craft fits a little bit better, since it is quite literally going nowhere now. But we did have enough fuel in the vessel where I had all the science, and of course I had the Jeb in here as well, we did have enough fuel in this to get back down to Kerbin. So yeah, we just did this landing, and this time we actually got about like 30 science, which was quite good. And that meant we went over that 90 science marker, which is what we needed to unlock the next thing. And I didn't actually unlock anything this time because I thought, why not? Let's leave it up to you guys. If anybody out there has an idea of what I should unlock next, please put it down in the comment. Or if I shouldn't unlock anything now and maybe save the science, put it down in the comments as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you could also comment down in the comment section if you have any ideas on where you want me to go next. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye bye.